Oh, what a beautiful morning. Good afternoon to everybody. I tell you what, crazy stuff, crazy stuff. Hey, everybody, how's it going? Donald, Don, John, Don, John, Infinity, Alan, Craig. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good evening for me. And, hey, just got an alert that I went live on my YouTube channel. That's cool. So, hey, Sergio. Glad everybody could make it today. Just kind of, I started this a moment early here, just kind of giving everybody a minute to get in here. Looks like about 45 of my closest friends are here, and we're gonna do 30 minutes of awesome as usual for Tuesday. Hey, John. Yeah, you made a live stream. Congratulations. And so what do we got on tap today? Over there, that way. That way, yeah. I'm on the wrong side. That way we have Netflix, Tesla, and more earnings. FOMC coming up next week. Dave, hey, more afternoon. And then we'll do 30 minutes of your requests. So hold off on the requests until we get to that point. All right. I'm going to talk about a few things before we get there. And remember, when we get through your requests, one per person, give somebody else a chance to go, and then you can hit it again. So one per person. All right. Hey, Donald. Hey, Anderson. Glad to have everybody. And looks like we lost a few people. Dropped down to 36. Anyway, hopefully a few more people join. Be a quick 30 minutes of awesome. So we have Netflix earnings just happened, and Tesla coming up later in the week. Netflix. I tell you what. Hey, here's Tesla. Let's just pop over to Netflix really quickly. I'm gonna jump down where we can actually see what's happening. This was pretty wild. And turn on some extended hours so we can see what's. Look at that move. Look at this baby go. Choo. We're sitting at 535 right now. Actually, kind of glad I bumped my order up. My order was sitting at 505, and about 3 hours, almost 4 hours ago now, I bumped it up to. It was about 1 o'clock Eastern. Bumped it up to 550. I was like, I bet that hits my target, and that target certainly getting hit. 550 right up here, so we may see a little pop in the morning. Nice move. Now, where can we go from here? Let's zoom it out to a daily chart and talk about it. So at 523, we're kind of exceeding that. 571 up here would be the next major milestone higher. We're finally filled that gap that I've been talking about for, gosh darn near, what, 2 years, almost 2 years now. We're talking about this gap that Netflix left open here. And guess what? Finally filled it. Finally filling it. So, hey, Tara. Glad to have you. Rungamer. Good afternoon. How's Raleigh? Anyway. There you go, 534, bouncing around. I'm gonna step off at 550. I got on back here at 401 in October. I'm gonna step off at 550. For those of you that say you got to trade options, you can't make good money making trading shares. I mean, that's gonna be bigger than 25% in November, December, January. 3 months, more than 25%. I mean, that's not bad money. You gotta trade the right stuff. Gotta trade the right stuff. And that was like a stress-free trade. I mean, just sitting and waiting. I thought we might have gotten there back in December. I was gonna be real happy. Got there in 2 months, but no, it made me hold out for another month. So we'll see. I'm gonna be really aggressive in the morning, probably after I get done with the Morning Monster Show. Which, if you didn't know, make sure that you're subscribed. Hit the button right here. Be a subscriber on the channel. You can chat with us. And while you're at it, hit the bell with the notifications. I go live every morning and talk about what's moving. So we'll look at Netflix again in the morning and see what we're doing. I may adjust my target or my exit order, my limit order, to something different if we're not going to make it any continuation. But right now, sitting at 550, right in between. So there you go. I just held on, bumped it up. I got a share. I started out with 5 shares, maybe 10. I think it was 5 shares, and I had to close 4 because I got a margin call. It was kind of a stupid thing, but one held on, and I mean, taking $400 and making it $550. It's not a bad deal. I had to close my other ones somewhere in here at like $430 or something like that. 400, 430, 450. I don't know, somewhere in there. Anyway, hey, Kimberly's here. Everybody behave. The boss is here. Hey, babe. Glad to see you, my dear. Even though you hate when I say that. All right. Now, coming up is a big week of earnings. Let me pull that up. Pull that back over right here. We have, after the close tomorrow, the mighty Tesla, the mighty T right there. Now, interestingly, Rongamer here has gotten me to do analysis on Tesla for a while. Starting back in 2015, I've pulled all the numbers all the way back, to a land far, far away. 36 earnings altogether. Talking about 72.22% of the time, Tesla drops on earnings. And now how big does it drop? It drops 13% on average. And now how long does that take? 6 days on average. Now, some trades have taken longer. In fact, the most recent 2, let's pop this up and talk about it now that we've discussed that part. The most recent 2 have taken a little longer. It's let's actually jump to I think I got a clean chart here. Maybe, possibly, maybe not. I think I have one called Tesla earnings. Let's see. Load the layout. Let's see. Yep, I do right there. There it is. All right. Funny enough, SVXY pops up. Tesla. So Tesla earnings right here, and put it on a daily chart. And you can see all these other ones, and I didn't update Tesla earnings. I updated the other one. So right here, we had July. It closed right there, red, and we were at the high, and we dropped right there, 26% in about 30 days. Then we did another one right here, and we dropped another 20.4% in about 13 days. So these 2 took a little longer than the average being 6 days to drop 13% on earnings. So if you're a betting person and you wanted to go with the statistical, historical reaction to earnings for Tesla, what do we think is going to happen? Coming up tomorrow, after the close, and it doesn't seem to matter if we're at the top of the range or the middle of the range or what. 72.2% of the time, we get a drop about 13% that lasts about 6 days. So, roughly something like that. Takes us down to our magic price right around 180 that I've been looking for a while. Look at this, Wrongamer. Still with me? Look at that price. Don't you love it when things come together in a plan? I've got my alert sitting right there. 185. This thing coming all together here. We could see this average 13% drop, put us right in the neighborhood. I mean, lucky or good, I don't know. Sometimes things work out. Kind of freaky. Now, why have we been talking about 180? Well, look right here. This fib line comes in just below that, like 175. And this other fib line, we do it another way. Use the wrong one. Trying to remember which one it was. May take two attempts here. Yeah. I think I clicked on the wrong. This low is the one I needed. Yeah, right there. That one. So this 1, 2, and this whole big move would be a 1272 extension, and this move down would be a 1272 extension. You know, this. So this right here is the first move. We'd be projecting it off of this move. And that's an extension down to this fib line that shows up right there at 171. And this retrace extending puts us where those two fib lines come together. And being a little conservative, going with the 180, just kind of rounding up. So be careful. I mean, I know we've got prior support here. We've got prior stuff in here, but be very careful. The average 72% of the time is for Tesla to drop about 13%. 13 is actually just slightly lower right there, right on the blue line. All I can do is present the information. It doesn't have to do it. This doesn't have to come true. So just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there. Hey, Maggie. All right. So that is Tesla's potential earnings move. FOMC next week. For those of you not in the know, coming in hot on the 31st. Right here. 2 p.m. We have the FOMC statement. Are they going to keep rates the same? Probably. Could they raise rates? Could. Are they going to get soft on their language for cuts in March? Maybe. We'll see. All right, we'll see what happens. But that's the next FOMC meeting. That could cause some volatility in the market. Very well cause volatility in the market. So if you're not prepared, it would be prudent to make sure that you've booked profit on anything that was profit-taking a bull, for lack of a better term. And for the rest of this week, we have some at 9:45. We got some flash manufacturing and services PMI coming in tomorrow. We've got all this fun stuff on Thursday. GDP, unemployment claims, core durable goods, balance, trade balance, and all that for some fun, all that sort of fun stuff. And then 10 a.m. we have new home sales coming in on Thursday. And on Friday, Powell's favorite number right before the FOMC next week. Coming in hot right there, brand new PCE. That's personal consumer expenditures. If you're unfamiliar with that is coming in on Friday of this week, right in front of the FOMC next week. So things could get interesting. Interesting good, interesting bad. I don't know. We'll see what the numbers come out and how the reactions go. We are pretty cooked on the upside. So just throwing that out there. Now, before I really get into all these fun things like trades and things like that that may cause you to put money at risk, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. Just because I nailed Netflix and I've gotten Tesla right in the past doesn't mean I'll continue to get anything right in the future. This presentation is intended to be informational, educational, fun, and entertaining. It is not a recommendation to buy or sell anything, all right? I'm not telling you to do anything with your money. Don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them. Don't buy stocks, don't buy options, don't buy Forex, don't buy futures, don't buy cryptos, don't buy bonds, don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them, all right? Because all trading involves a substantial risk of losing your money. And if you desire personal financial advice, you got to hire and consult a financial advisor that has a fiduciary duty to give you advice based on your situation. Now I'm going to jump to the other side here. Remember, if you want to participate in the chat today, go hit the button on the other side over there. Hit the subscribe button. Be a subscriber on the channel, and you can chat with us. Even if you're tuning in later, leave a comment down below. I love the interaction. Love to see people responding to the videos and give me feedback. So, the question this morning was, if I made a physical product, would you want a hoodie? Would you want a shirt, a t-shirt? Would you want, I don't know, a cup, a mug, a coffee cup, maybe like a Morning Monster mega mug? Would you want a water bottle? I mean, what kind of one thing would you be interested in with a Jeffry Turnmeyer trading logo? Possibly one of my sayings like, it's not being wrong that costs you the money, it's staying wrong. Or the account you save, maybe your own. Something like that. If you wanted one of these potential products. Let me know which one you might be interested in. We're just kind of doing an informal poll. The mug seems to be winning out so far. I definitely am interested in hearing. And remember, if I say anything that morning Goose came up with the Morning Monster Mega Mug. That was kind of Goose's idea there. So got to give credit where credit is due. And if I say anything that you like during today's session, our 30 minutes of awesome here, make sure you give me a thumbs up, because I'm going to take your requests. I'm going to be busy. So even if you check out after I review your request, remember, don't give me a request yet. Even if you do check out, give me a thumbs up before you leave. Give me a like. I'd appreciate it. Alrighty. Hey, Kathy, I don't recognize your name. Welcome to the stream. Just give me a minute. We'll do requests in just a minute. I'm going to hit a few of the major highlights before we do that. And looky, not far to the resistance. Sideways and pop. We did a little shorter sideways, and we did the pop, and we got really effing close. Really freaking close. How do I do this sometimes? I don't know. Freaks me out. We got right up to that 100% resistance there. We've got 48.80. Possibly, we're talking possibly only 15 more points to the upside. Then what happens? Well, odds are that happens. All right. Sometimes I hate being right. Sometimes it, like I call on Bitcoin, are we breaking 40 or 50? Which one's coming first? This was about a week and a half ago. 40 or 50, right after the ETFs came out. 40 or 50, which one's happened first? I said 40. And look where we are on Bitcoin, below 40. That's I don't like being right when right actually goes against my position. So be careful, all right? This may prove to be a significant resistance level right up here. It's a little bit of a fat zone. We could bust on through a little bit. These are just simplified based on daily closes here. So we could push through just a little bit, but watch out, all right? This blue arrow right here has been on this chart for a few weeks now as a potential that we find resistance when we hit that level. All right. Just throwing it out there. We don't have to stop there. I have a target drawn on up here that we haven't gotten to yet, but the statistics of this baby say, we slowed down right at the 1272, hung out there for like a month, and then now we're in spitting distance, 15 points ish of that 1618. For gosh sakes, please be careful. Please. All right. I don't want to hear, JT, what happened? I thought we were going higher. When we do this, if we do this. All right. This move has been wicked to the upside with nary a pullback. Look, this was nothing. Look at this. Look at these pullbacks we've had for the last year. Some of these pullbacks are pretty wicked. All right. Don't think we're never going to see a pullback again. I will guarantee you that is incorrect, false thinking. All right. We are going to see a pullback again. Is that going to be the resistance? Are we going to move on up here? 5,000? I did say we might, if we actually break out, we could see 5,000 pretty quick. We're not that far away. We're 135 points. It's not far. 5,000 may be it. I don't know what to say except watch out. We made the all-time high. Now what do we do? So there's not a ton of money sitting on the sides waiting to pull in. People have been talking about the $8 trillion in money market funds, but if you go back and you zoom out and you look at the history of money market funds, they sit at about 12%. This is like money that needs to be liquid. It sits at about 12% of the value of the stock market. And you know where we are right now? Just a smidge over 12%. So there's not much money to come out of money market funds and flood back into the market, despite what I've seen all over all these places in mainstream media talking about, oh, there's $8 trillion that can flow in and keep us propelling us higher. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Don't get your hopes too hung up on that. So, all right. That's the S&P. I'm going to run through a few more really quickly and hit some highlights. Then I'll take requests. So hold off on your requests. I don't want your request to get lost in the sea before I get there. All right. Now, moving on down the list here. Typically we talk about ES. ES trades, every day but Saturday. If you didn't know that, we open at 6 p.m. on Sundays. We close at 5 p.m. on Fridays. We don't trade at all on Saturdays. So every other day, ES is typically open. We left a gap back here, and it would not surprise me one little bit. ES, even more than the S&P 500, does not typically leave gaps. And if we made that move right there, that would fill that gap. What gap, JT? I don't quite see it. It's that one right there when the contract rollover happened. Even contract rollovers, we don't tend to leave those gaps open. This one back here in June, when I warned about that one, we came and filled it right back here in September. So that one right there got filled right there. We don't typically leave gaps in ES at all. I mean, look back through here. There's almost no gap at all. Like there was a gap right there and it got filled immediately. And that's kind of the way ES works. All right. We don't leave gaps in ES at all. I mean, I'd be hard pressed to find you one that didn't get filled pretty quickly. So what's ES? That's S&P 500 futures. We don't tend to leave gaps open in this one. Now, S&P 5 SPX, the cash index, a little bit different. We can leave gaps for years, but the futures do not tend to leave a gap for longer than a couple months. Usually it's just days before we fill it. So in Q, we're getting to ludicrous levels here. That 17,680 is the 1618 extension. That thing's been on a rip, almost exponential. It wrecked that head shoulders pattern. That didn't happen. So at this point, where do we run out of gas? Do we run out of gas at 17.7? Maybe. Do we run out of gas at 18.2, 18.5, 19.3? We can only climb so much of the fib ladder before we come back down. And it's been all the way back here since October when we tagged the roadmap line. So we don't usually go. I mean, that one went from March to October. So April, May, June, July, August, September, October. 7 months. How long can we go this time? November, December, January, February, March, April, May. Could go to May. So there you go. There you go. Russell right here. Started rolling today. Highly cautious. This could be a measured bounce. For those of you that are taking my fib class, that's a measured bounce setup for that kind of move. And then that could potentially be a measured bounce for going back up. So we'll see what happens here. Right now, that's potential measured bounce until we break back up above like 2040. If we break above 2040, kind of wrecks the pattern. But right now, we bounced right off of it, potentially going to head lower. So be careful. Bond auction doesn't affect the market. People talk about that stuff. That's economy. That's economy stuff. Stock market is different from the economy. Sure, there's some blend over. Central bank liquidity, worldwide central bank liquidity is 98.5% correlated to the stock market. So as the worldwide central banks collectively increase liquidity, the stock market rises. Other than that, they're just non-events for the most part. CL, now a lot of people don't like that. We like to believe stories, but if you can decouple your brain from the mainstream media and the stories, you're going to do way better in trading. There's a whole host of people here with you, Maggie, that will attest to that. If you can decouple Your decisions, and just make them based on the technical patterns on the chart. You're going to do way better. Way, way better. Oil just chopping sideways. Nothing great. Brent looks a little more bullish and getting closer to the roadmap line than WTI here in the United States. That's European oil, Brent. And that one might break out and lead us higher before CL does. RBO, gasoline, that's actually looking pretty bullish too. If we can get up above the roadmap line, we could see a large extension. Somewhere in that roadmap line area is probably resistance right now. 230, 240. Nationwide, I think gasoline, they were saying last night on the news, around 330. So take the prevailing price right here, 223, add the taxes, roughly $1 a gallon. That's where you get the pump price. So there we go. Looks like Maggie's just a little behind. She'll catch up here in a minute. And heating oil is trending sideways. Looks a little more like CL. That rejected going higher there. Pull that over. So Rongamer saved on diesel breaking out for another day at least. We'll see. If we get above the roadmap line, not going to be too good driving diesels. Well, natural gas. I guess the bomb cyclone's all done. The snow here is melting. That was kind of the picture I had. This is actually the roof outside here. That's what it looks like out there. That was yesterday morning. Still looks like that right now with the big icicle and everything. Hadn't melted at all, hardly. Even though the temperature is like, let's see, what's the temperature out right now? 45. We stayed below freezing for an entire week and with 12 inches of snow out there, which it's been 31 years since it snowed like that deep here in Knoxville. And if you look at the fact that it stayed cold for over a week and snowed, if you try to combine those two things, it's been over 110 years since it's done that in Knoxville, Tennessee here, where it was this much snow and that cold that long, and the snow hung out for longer than a week. 110 years. That's statistics. That's the kind of things I look at. So anyway, so natural gas, bomb cyclone all done. We're back testing the downtrend, and we get below it. I've drawn 1, 2, 3 blue arrows. You know, at some point, I think we may go visit $2. If we hold support there, we could bounce. But if we break down, we could head on down to like $1.50. Great for paying your natural gas bill. Bad if you're a natural gas trader. Trading long anyway. Gold still looks like it wants to reach down, touch the roadmap line. Silver still looks like it wants to reach the bottom one more time. That's kind of a 1, 2, 3. Let's do one little thing here. Yeah. Yeah. Silver definitely looks like it wants to go down. It did a head and shoulders here, and finishing that up would be right at the bottom of the box. Come on, let's do it. Let's see. Copper here is just hanging. Tried to break out. Came back, broke below, retesting the trend line. If it pushes back below this low, watch out, baby. That one may be going down in a blaze of glory. Yeah. Support down here at way on down. We don't want to talk about it right now. Copper traders. FCX would be probably murderized if we did that. Lumber breaking out. Lumber may be getting ready to pop. It just kind of drifted out of this wedge. So watch out. If we start breaking higher than this high right over here, lumber might go on another tear. But housing coming in soft today, but lumber popping today. So this is an interesting little anomaly there. And housing futures, we got to pop up to the weekly charts so you can actually see it. Made a higher high, but found a little resistance here. Well, it didn't do the bearish move, so came up shy of the roadmap line. It looks like we might pop up to 343. Could get a little more bullish on housing, but then we're gonna find some resistance more than likely right up there. All right, and let's touch on some crypto real quick, and then we can move on into your request. So give me just a minute, and we'll throw in your request. So just be patient. Be patient. All right. Bitcoin. Looks like it's quickly coming back down to the roadmap line. Kind of what I predicted. I'd like to see it reach one more time. Could do that overnight even. That'd be super swell. And then watch for a bounce. So why did I think it was going to do that? Because we got a little overexcited here. That kind of went almost in an exponential type curve on that last little move. That little whoop like that. We usually come right back down. You see it in the market all over the place. When we get a little overexcited, we tend to correct it right back down. This line right here tends to be support. If you want that line, link is in the description. Market roadmap line. It's like $5. I can give you an easy button. You can click it, put it right on your chart. I even tell you the code if you really want the code. If you want to go put it on some other platform, almost every platform it works. I mean, it's pretty simple. It's 144 and 169 EMAs. And then coloring it orange, I leave it up to you. If you want it orange, just click the button down below. $5. Come on. Less than a cup of $9 coffee, you know. And Ethereum is looking a bit more bearish. Probably going to test this roadmap line also. Then we'll see what happens. We broke down below. We had this trend line of lows going here. We broke firmly below it today. That kind of sets the stage to doing this, if not going on deeper. So I'm very concerned, though. We bounced right off of this resistance. And that can take us all the way down. Back down into sub 1,000 on Ethereum. Not going to be too good if that's what we do. Keep your eyes peeled. We start breaking down below 2,000. We might come on down pretty rapidly. 1,500 is kind of the line in the sand. We get below 1,500, probably going on down below 1,000. That's what it looks like at this point. All right. Now, it is that time of the day where I take your requests. So we've kind of covered Netflix and Tesla already in the warm-up, along with the other things that we've already covered. So please, no repeats. I'll try to pick up what got thrown out already, like MELI is right up to that 1767 target. Beautiful. What do I expect next? Retrace. It can retrace to the 1272, or it can retrace to the 100, or it can retrace to the roadmap line. That's a bigger retrace. You're like, no way, it does a big retrace. Look right there. That's not even, it's almost the same size. So if you don't think we can do it, I got news for you. We can do it. Be careful. The account you save may be your own. Remember, I mean, you're the one making your decisions, all right? You fly your own jet. Be careful. Now, let's see. Cost I see thrown in there is pushing on higher. Has a bigger target right there, 737. That was the wedge target breakout, and looks like it doing it. 737 upside target. And not much after that at this point. And one per person retro or redo, whatever. So QQQ we already covered. IWM we already covered, and ETH we already covered all of them. We got all your tickers. If you want to know, QQQ was NQ. Already covered that. Just divide by, when I covered NQ, divide by 41. That's QQQ. RTY was Russell, and ETH already covered for you. So moving on. ECL. Ecolab is stuck right there. 201, 212 will be the next upside, but remember, these things sometimes have a habit of retracing right off the extension. So if we break back down below that breakout level at 191, we're probably coming on down wherever. Now, the roadmap line is a flexible target, so as we come up, the longer this takes, it could just meet up right over here. So that's what we got on ECL at this point. Upside target 212 and the retrace potential. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful. All right, AVGO. When will it drop? That's it can keep being irrational. It's sitting right at the resistance though. Sitting right at the resistance. Hadn't gone much higher. It's chopped there for 3 days. It popped up there and then parked and parked. How many days can it park there? We could park there indefinitely. The odds are we're going to retrace back to here at least. And if we don't hold that, we could go back down to the roadmap line. And that can all happen from over here. It doesn't have to go sideways at all. But the next level up, 1291, if it keeps on going. Didn't break down over here. Decided to go for the extension. So there you go. If you don't like those sitting high price stuff, don't trade high price stuff. All right. NVIDIA has extension. I mean, it's up past the 1618. Next level up, 644. It may run out of steam in the middle. We see this a lot where we come up and make it about halfway and then we go retrace. I'd be careful. There's a lot of hype there, and I've talked about this in the past. This right here, price to sales ratio, sitting way above our historical. All right, we haven't even updated for 2023 on here yet, but 2018, we were at 8.5. 2019, we were at 14. 2020, we were at 19. 2021, we were at 21. 2022, we were back at 18.9, roughly 19. And we're sitting at 33 right now. Now, I'm not talking price to earnings. I'm talking price to sales. You can't fake sales. You can fake all earnings all you want. You know, you can bullcrap your way into, you know, EBIT or whatever. Earnings before interest, tax, and accruals, you know, as Charlie Munger used to say, if you just replace EBIT with bullshirt or bullcrap, you know, that's really what those earnings are. But sales, you can't fake sales. You either made the sale or you didn't make the sale. And when price is 33 times sales, that's like flashing the danger arrow, danger light in my cockpit for trading. I'm not touching this thing. All right. Anything over 20 is at ridiculous levels. It just is. So they're either going to have to ramp their sales hugely, which they're trying to. I mean, I'm not discounting that they're not trying to. They're growing sales, but there's just not huge upside potential for me at something like this. If this number was down at 10 and they're, you know, growing like they are, then that'd be a different story. But you know, their net margin's dropping off too. They were climbing, they were dropping. You know, we'll see what the 2023 ones are. I don't know. I mean, they're expecting that revenue to pop. We'll see what it comes in at. And there are definitely a lot of people. I mean, Meta said they were going to buy, what was it? $30 billion worth of NVIDIA GPUs, I think they said. 30 billion? I mean, that's a lot of money in GPUs. I mean, that's a half of a year for NVIDIA, at least their 2023 year. So I'm not saying it can't be great, but that 33 puts it on the don't trade it list for me. You can do what you want to with your own money. So anyway, that was a bounce down here, and I, you know, actually thought it was a good trade. Right back up to 532. Now it's back to ludicrous levels and danger. Stove's hot. Don't do it. Anyway, you can do what you want to with your own money. I'm not telling you, not giving you advice. VZ, talked about that this morning. That was a nice pop. That was on the Morning Monster. You should go watch that. We're coming up to resistance here. And the big thing, we haven't really done a solid retrace of this whole move up here. We got little bitty echo type moves. I need something more substantial, and I kind of need that all through the market. If we did a more substantial retrace, this would look better. And if we pulled it on up just a little, you know, that could come up to 46 and then retrace back to the roadmap line area. That could be a measured bounce for going much higher. And this thing hadn't really gone anywhere. It's one of the things I was talking about this morning. We haven't really gone anywhere in Verizon since 97, 98. Why do you want to trade something like that? It just goes sideways for 30 years. I'm open to hear, but you know, yeah, holding it for the dividend. Okay, cool. It's not really a trade though. That's more of an investment. So, to each their own. You can hold Verizon all you want. T is like a horrible one though. Like compare it to, I mean, I think their Direct TV play. Where did they buy Direct TV? I think it was back here. You can see, has not been so great for AT&T. All right, moving on. Cost already did. XRP USD. Go with Coinbase. Going down in a blaze of glory. Yeah, doesn't have good data. What's XRP USD? Finance, there we go. Better data. Let's clean it off. Still looking pretty crap. Right below this trend line, which poking below. Watch out. That was. There's a lot of people don't like me to don't like the fact I said this right there. A lot of people have not liked me drawing this. We bounced right off of that 618. This is a measured bounce for going lower. Doesn't look too good to me. But maybe they save it right here. Maybe. It could be down to 11 to 20, 24 cents, 11 cents. Be careful on XRP. What I would say. I don't buy into hype. I just watch chart patterns. So UNH got a heck of a retrace. Almost down to the measured bounce level. Stopped at the 50 so far. I kind of want to see this push down just one more little bit, right to this 489 area, right in here. If we can do that, that'd be really nice. Really, really nice. Look, this first move down. Look at that. Puts us right in the zone there. We stopped at the 1272. That first move down, 1272. Talked about that a minute ago. Whatever else it was. I'd like to see that come together, though, right there at the 618. Now, we could hold this. We start breaking back above this zone right up here. Yeah, it's a long way back up. Yeah, it is. 30 points more higher. That probably sets us up to go to 573, possibly 596. And I had a 620 target based on the, this big target up here. Based on this big pullback we did way back here. This has been a long-term correction here. From this high right here to this low right down here. That was a giant correction. It's A, B, C. And that projection of that correction takes us up into this 620 area right up in here. But how long is it going to take? Well, it could take us a little while. So it may bounce off of here, pull back, and then do it. We'll see. So still kind of bullish, and this is a higher low yet again, and can lead to an extension. So I would prefer to see it pull back a little more, but if it breaks out, it's probably going. And how long? I don't know. That could take the rest of the year at this point. We got a nice pullback. These things always take way longer than I plan on. LOGI had a nice pop early, and now it's drop. Excuse me, had a nice drop early. Probably gonna touch the roadmap line. Had a pop into the drop. That's what I was. And funny enough, it beat on the top and the bottom. If you hear somebody say beat on the top and the bottom, they're talking about earnings and revenue. Those two numbers. The top number, almost always earnings. The bottom number, almost always revenue. There's like 7 more numbers to earnings, but these are the 2 that get reported. So there you go. That's revenue, basically sales, and earnings per share, which earnings are full of crap. So you got price to earnings and price to sales. Revenue is sales. All right. Roku is coming back to the roadmap line. Oh, look at that. Did come back to the roadmap line. We've got a downtrend going. If we can break above, that'd be positive. Now, other things happening, crapping on Roku. I don't like where that 618 is. It kind of works, I guess. I don't like it. I don't like it, but it's okay. I don't have to like it. Above that 618 line, this is like a close, not just a spike up. Above there can set us up 70% likely to go to 116. Now that brings me to AAPL. This one has earnings coming up. Now I published chart of the week and said 195. Closing above 195 was the entry. Now the problem here is that yesterday we spiked and made a high at 195.33. So that actually bumped where we needed to close above 195.33. This is like a nuance in the way that I trade. Now today we got to close at 195.18. So it's still not an entry for me at this point. And we've got earnings coming up here on the 1st of February. Next week, next Thursday. This kind of makes this like not awesome to trade at the moment. Now, you know what we could do is we could pop right up in there, buy earnings hit, and we drop. Entirely possible. Entirely possible. Now, technically, we are above the 618, and we've tipped the odds to 70% likely we're going to hit that price. But it's just not something I want to get involved in right now. I don't like not feeling it. Not feeling it. Anyway, it's probably going to hit the target. We'll see. 204 upside target right up in there. That was chart of the week last week? Week before last. I don't remember. Maybe it was week before last. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. MCD looks like it wants to retrace to the roadmap line. There's no pullbacks to work off of here. Made a higher high. We're seeing the same kind of pattern all over the place where we come up and just stop right at a marginal higher high. It's even what the S&P is basically done, right? Did a giant correction, right back up. I mean, if you don't know what I'm talking about, check this out. Let's go to a 3-day chart. No, let's go to a weekly chart. Weekly chart. Look at that. We did that roadmap line bounce and right back up and just stopped right at a higher high. So we've been sideways for 2 years, almost 2 years, 2 full years sideways in the S&P. We did a little correction, came right back. If you feel like you haven't made any money in a couple of years, so right back where we were 2 years ago. Almost the same time frame. So we could go higher. We don't have to go higher. So AAL, American Airlines. Looks kind of gnarly. The roadmap line is slightly biased down. Sideways down. The charts is inside a big range. And it's set a heck of a range. From right here to right here. Talking summer high in July to the low in October. While the market and almost everything else has pushed above that July high, American Airlines is stuck at the roadmap line, significantly lower than the prior high. That's not too great. Could it go higher? Sure. Probably has significant resistance right up here, $5 higher. Why do you want to mess with this for $5 potential? I mean, stuck in a big downtrend. That was the lowest low. Stuck at a resistance, not breaking up through the roadmap line. You don't think it'll go lower again? Yeah, that one. Tried to do a merger with JetBlue and got their hopes and dreams crushed. might be filing bankruptcy. JBLU got their hopes and dreams crushed. Bounced off the roadmap line. Hey, heck. That was a beautiful, beautiful extension right there. Right down. Don't usually see them run right to the 200% extension. $2 would be the next one for JetBlue. They don't make you money. I don't know why they think they can buy another airline. Yeah, right on profitability. Lose money, make money, lose money, make money, lose money, lose money, make money, make money, lose 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 money. They lose a lot of money. Let's see what these guys lose money, lose money, lose money. Yeah, standardized lose money. I don't know why they started paying a dividend. That was a poor idea. Losing money. Why would they pay a dividend? That's just the stupidest idea when you're losing a bunch of money that you're going to pay a dividend on top of losing money. Hey, everybody, I know a way we can lose more money. Let's pay shareholders a dividend. And yeah, so be careful. This one may file bankruptcy. JetBlue may file bankruptcy. AL, I mean, it's not like that's a banger chart either. UAL, that looks pretty gnarly. I mean, same chart, different airline. Same chart, different airline. There's nothing great about airlines right now. AMD keeps pumping. That may be it. Maybe it right there. Could retrace back to 100 or possibly even deeper. Let's see. Things that move more than 100, move more than 50 should be on long mode. Yeah. Ludicrous level. The bigger retrace all the way down there at 85 still. Yep. 85. Still the same retrace potential. Even if we push even slightly higher, we're still going to keep that same ballpark retrace level. This is going exponential. Everything I say about things going exponential keeps holding true. Like after we did it right there, look how long we went sideways and came down to a lower low. And then getting hyped again, we can keep pushing levels. Like it's not the problem. Eventually we run out of juice and we come down hard. That's the problem. Do I think we're going higher high? Probably not. I don't know. Well, did we? Maybe we did. Was that the highest high? Yeah, just barely. It was. I didn't think we would do it, but it looks like we did. I quit paying attention to this for a while back. I don't watch it very much lately. My trade ended back here. And I gave up on a second trade back here. Just was taking too long. Popped 172. And watch out. Gnarly. I don't like them when they do that. It didn't do that with the kind of setup where it can go much higher. So SVIX, there's nothing in the chart here. It doesn't follow patterns. But there you go. Potential to touch 41. And Uber. It's in this zone. I thought it might top out right up here at 67 and then pull back. That's an echo off of a prior move is where that target comes from. And we kind of stopped at this high, chopped a little bit. Now we're potentially going to get that high. Time frame wise, it could take longer, could happen faster. It could just pop there next week and then probably pull back and meet up with the roadmap line somewhere out here sometime in the future. All right. And if it's helpful, give me a like. URA, big picture, big time frame, Still expecting this to go higher. 35 and 40 are my upside targets. Hadn't changed. Hadn't changed since back in... When did I start trading this? Anybody remember? I think it was back here. I think I got into this back in 21. Been selling calls at 35 and 40 for a long time. It's been my upside target for a long time, and it just like it was the target probably from this little move back here, and then it did this correction and it just reaffirmed, and so I removed this crap from back here because more recent price action. It hadn't really pulled back, so we may find some resistance. We may get a pullback, but then ultimately we're probably going up here. I've just been sitting on shares selling calls for 2 years now, maybe getting closer to 3 years. I don't remember if it was 21, maybe it was 22. I don't remember, 21 or 22, somewhere in there. I started selling. I've had shares and selling calls on this for a long freaking time. Just banking money, man. And it's like you can't necessarily sell like February calls against this. You know, especially when it was down here, you had to go out like 6 months and sell a call. And it's just the name of the game. My longest trade ever lasted 19 years doing that. I mean, I turned $500 into $26,000. Took 18 years to do that. Selling calls on one stock. I bought shares for $3.50. Started selling calls on them. Sold calls until the stock was bought out by another company for $190 a share. So you don't think you can, you know, it just depends on your mindset, your mind frame, your expectation, and what you think is going to happen. I was pretty sure that stock was going back to triple digits. It was triple digits before I bought it for $3.50. I was pretty sure it was going back to triple digits. It was just a matter of how long. It took 18, 19 years. Took a while. Bought it on the back of the dot-com bust and sold it out at the peak. All right. Mara. Back to the roadmap line. It's been holding pretty well. I sold calls at... sold puts. I sold calls at 40 and sold puts at 14. And my sold puts for this Friday were at 8 cents, I think, at the close. I have an order to close them at 3 cents. And I've done that 3 weeks in a row. Somebody correct me if I think it's been 3 weeks. 3 weeks in a row. Maybe I skipped a week. 2 or 3 or 4 weeks in a row I've sold calls. I may have skipped a week, and it's been 4 weeks, but it's only been two, and then skip a one, and then go again. But why 14? Because that's where the roadmap line is. That's how confident I am. I sold puts at 14 because I don't really expect it to go much below 14. Even if it did, I'll buy those shares and turn them around and sell calls. HUT looks horrible and probably going lower. Probably going lower low. That's what I said about the reverse split back here, 1 for 5. That's bearish. Even though it popped a little bit, it's now below the reverse split area and going lower, and probably going to go back down into the low single digits, back where it was before it reverse split. I hate saying that for people, and Riot not looking too good either. Has broken through the roadmap line. It didn't even blink. Kept on going right back down to this consolidation, which is not bullish, not one bit. That's not awesome. That was a lower high. That correction probably may very well take us lower. Let's be real for a second. Look, a lower high sets us up to go into this zone right here on Riot. The way it broke through the roadmap line, and the fact that we're below the 618. We've got greater than 50% chance we're going to see a move to a lower low than right there. That's not the way Mara is, all right? That's not Mara at all. That's the way Riot is, and that's HUT is already doing it. there's a reason I picked the ones I pick. Apple, already covered it. Square is bouncing off the roadmap line potentially. You believe that I had an 85 covered call on this thing when it was gapping up, when it gapped up and gapped up, and somebody called it. Somebody called my shares at 85 right there. It's really rare. It was pretty stupid. Somebody needed those shares for some reason. They called my $85 shares. And hey, whatever. It was it went down. So I had shares. They called them at 85. I made money because that was above my cost basis. And retraced. So now, for me to be interested in this thing, you're going to move through there. And there's a reason that I have an alert up there at 74 because that's above the 618 right here. This may push down a little bit lower and pull that 618 down. That would look better. But that could be the low, and we pop on through. So I have an alert right there at 73, 74, because I'm interested. I just did something or other. I just moved the higher alert I had for a breakout. 86, 95, potentially something up here at 120, but that's it's probably not as valid anymore after making that lower low. I was trading back here for that higher target and got stuck in the shares and then sold 85 calls and somebody bought them. That was stupid. Stupid on somebody's part. Hope they knew what they were doing. Anyway. And oh, I just skipped the chat a lot. Let's see. Yeah, I'm behind. Sorry, everybody. LRCX is probably hit targets. Right there. 160, 1618, and that could bounce down and do another one of these retraces and may come down and touch the roadmap line. So TXN, what'd I do? Texas Instruments, stuck at that. Let's see. Delete. We have stopped at the 1272, may reach 179, and then retrace back to the roadmap line. And MNST, Monster, coming back to the roadmap line. If we hold there, we need a move back up through this 1618 level around 58 to go to 60 and 62. And LUV. And we already basically talked about that. It looks pretty garbage. So already was covered. And NU. And if you missed anything, you were like, hey, JT, what the heck? You skipped my... Use the bar down here. Go back, find your ticker. That's why it's here. It's all immediately on replay. And yeah, NU may pop up there and retrace. And DWAC. And DWAC looks freaking gross. And it's done this before. Did this before over here. Did this before over here. Did this before over here. Doing it a little bigger. Probably going to come back down. Why would you use Truth Social? You wouldn't. I mean, it's unlikely anybody would. So this is unlikely to be anything that matters long term. It's been just a hype train of people losing money for 3 years. And it's going to continue. Like somebody's going to lose money again. How long can you stay solvent in this thing? You know, go out as far as you can and buy a put is, you know, down here and watch it come profitable unless it's just stupid priced. But Roku bouncing off the roadmap line. I'm pretty sure I already got that one. P-Lab is nothing update. Target's on a higher. Got my order at 33 that didn't fill yet. 35 would be where I expect. Could go to 42 or 53, but that's lower probability. It very well could, but that'd be kind of crazy. I'm gonna step off at 33, I think. And Matic, Polygon. Went down in a blaze of glory. Broke below the roadmap line. It's higher low. We don't want, like, so right now the support level that we don't want to see break is 66. Right there. Don't want to see it get below that, 60 to 70 area. Need support there. If we get below that, probably coming down to 40, if not lower low. That's the breaks on that one. And BAH. Bah. Booz Allen. And jeez, that's some volatility in there. Meeting some strong. I don't like the way that found resistance at that prior high. That's if it pops 134, 139. If it doesn't pops, that may be it. It may be signaling the top. Could come back into this $90 area. Right back down here. And DPZ. Yeah. Next target up right there. Found a resistance to the 1272, which is also the 50% retrace, right around that 434. May retrace back to the breakout and then cruise on up for that 467 level. And MSTR is at the roadmap line. Now, I'm not going to debate waves. That's not what I do here. If you're in the VIP group, I can talk waves, but right now, if you're not in the TTL VIP group, I'm not talking waves with you, more than likely. So right there, back to the roadmap line. Now this thing's bounced off the roadmap line several times. We bounced here, we bounced here, we bounced here. This is a very repeatable pattern. And we could go on up to 800, possibly 1,000, but we need a move up through 618 to get 830 or 1,000. And this thing has been on extensions almost every time. So it may very well get on up here to like 1,400 on the next move. If it goes. If it breaks down, could be game over. We could see a bigger, deeper retrace, which could be, let's see, let's run this up to the top. Could be back down to that box, back down around 350, 370. Doesn't seem too far away at this point. Right back to that box. Wouldn't even surprise me at this point. All right. Next one. PDD. PDD. Same thing. Sideways or breakdown. No change. I cover that like half the mornings because it keeps making the morning monster list. Amazon. Resistance at 160. And then probably deeper retrace. It's been what I suspected for a long time. We could break out and do an extension, but resistance at 160, probably a deeper retrace. I've been looking for that since we did this, I think. That's been my target number, 160. And then the retrace, I haven't even moved that. Like, it's been sitting there for, I thought we would do it faster, but we didn't. We did it nice and slow and took an extra 6 months. I thought we were going to go faster because it was lagging. This one's lagging QQQ so much. I mean, look, QQQ is busting all-time highs, but this thing is way down here and needs a retrace after doing this. That was 5 up. And, yeah. MU. Working on pushing higher. Resistance up here. It's as simple as that. That'd be potential triple top if it can't break out. Resistance right up here. Simple as that at this point. And BX is probably going to retest the roadmap line. I mean, it retraced a fine support area, but yeah, it could break out. 170, 197, but we're going to get it back above that high. out of this orange box of consolidation. You have it consolidated on the way down. Once we get above that, you know, the 70% likely doesn't start until we're above that consolidation. See how it smeared up that 618 line? That's where that orange box comes from. Above that, 170, not 197 potentially. All right, FTNT. Remember, if I said anything that you like, give me a thumbs up, give me a like. And that one has potential to go launching off right there. Sloppy, but we've got this giant resistance. Get above that, 98, potentially 122. Oh, snap. I am not a fan of Snap. I don't know how these people would make any money. Looks like it's going to retrace to the roadmap line. Significant resistance. We filled that gap. So, can we hold? We flipped over this line. Do we hold it and pop the top, fill that gap, or do we break back down and cruise down again? That's the big question. I don't have an answer at this point. IWM already covered. TGT. IWM was RTY. Russell. Just divide by 10. TGT potentially flipping it around here after doing some no bueno target hitting. Hit the target on the downside. And look at that. I thought the target, I thought it would come up right to this area. It came up right to that area. Thought it would retrace. And it came up a little shy of the upside target. Came up a little shy of the downside target. We could come down just a little deeper. And then this is the resistance. Till we're above there, it's not bullish and may go down again. That's the long and the short of it for target. MRVL is, I thought we'd retrace and retest this breakout, but right there's the resistance right at 75. 85 above that. These targets don't move. ANF most of the time. Abercrombie and Fitch right up to the 1618 of that whole big correction. That was a big time frame correction. Even bigger than weekly, monthly. Yeah, look at that. Right up there. Could extend to 237, but after that move, watch out. Watch out. That's about the duration of the last one. And then we got that correction. Watch out. That could take us through next year. The rest of this year could be a correction. Be careful. Definitely cautious, super cautious on that. There you go. It's Abercrombie and Fitch for you. All right, PLTR. Potentially trying to bounce off the roadmap line. We have resistance right up here in this zone. I do kind of feel that if we hold this resistance going higher, we're going to move lower down into this zone right here around 10. I would be a buyer or consider being a buyer somewhere around 10. Otherwise, 23, 26 on the upside if we break out. But after this wicked move up, we need a retrace. A little deeper flush out to flush out the weak hands and set this thing up to go higher again. I have an alert right here at 12 and then one at 10 that I just set. And otherwise we could get extensions, but yeah, it's going to look better if it retraces. I was a buyer back here and a seller right up in here. And I'd be a buyer again down here and a seller up way up here. But we got to do that. We got to do that move. See the next move, if we got this move down in this say $10, $12 area, could put us to an all-time high up at 89. But if we just go from here, we're probably just doing a marginal move up to 23 or so. 20, 23, 24. That's PLTR, SAP. Yeah, look. Nice little pullback. Didn't hit the daily, but it probably hit the 4-hour, I bet. Yeah, 4-hour. 151, 151, 156. That's the upside targets. It's kind of nice to see these smaller time frame targets. 152, 157. There you go. Kind of nice to see the smaller time frame moves because that means that the echo trades are potentially coming back around. Microsoft. Put that back on a daily. Resistance right there at 401. It's been the resistance for a while. Can it break through? Sure. That's the classic move, right up the 1272, retrace to the breakout, shoot up to the 1618. What happens next? Typically, we see a move back to the roadmap line. Typically. It's like, after doing that, shoot, it's pretty high. It's probably 80%, maybe, I'd say 80% of stuff after hitting this, even if it goes a little higher, will likely come back to the roadmap line after doing that. So, SLV. I already covered that basically with silver. Probably coming back down in this 18, 19 area. Right back down here at this point. Has support at the bottom of the box, but if we break out, we're coming back to these lows. 18, 19. That was like 1840. That was like 19. So that's what you got on silver. And what stock? Let's start the morning show. No, Seth. I'm not starting at 8:30. FTI. It's going to be 9:15 because that's what time I can. I wouldn't have a stock list if I did it at 8:30. That one. Rejecting the breakout. It's got to get above this box right here. So Morning Monster is not starting at 8:30. Just throwing that out there. BTBT, just a hard no. BTBT, it's got to hold this box. If we don't, we're coming down here. $1.50. If we can hold here and break out, the potential is great. Very great. Very, very great. I did the wrong tool. $6, $8, even $11 potentially on this next move. And VIX has no pattern. DWC has no real pattern. I bought the Discord and used the link and won't work. Go to members.prosperitypub.com. Log in and click the link in there for Discord. Make sure you have a Discord account before you click the link for Discord. And there's not 60. Whoever told you 60 trillion on the sideline is full of crap. There's not. And that's the end. Got to the end. So here's the. If you're still around, Seth, I'll throw in the link. Members. Come on, not comma. Perity, P-E-R-I-T-Y, pub.com. Right there. Go log in. If you don't have a password, click the link to recover your password. And if you still having problems, email support@prosperitypub.com and ask them to reset your password. S5FI. We'll cover that in the morning. So it's still below 80. And indicating we may go lower. The Fear and Greed Index for CNN is ramped back up. Borderline extreme greed. I don't know if you saw this. Borderline, we're creeping back up. If we pop back into the extreme, watch out. We could roll over quickly. There you go. That's the show, everybody. Thanks for coming. I'll see you again in the morning. We'll talk about what's actually moving for the day. Thanks for bringing your triggers. And remember to give me a thumbs up if anything I said was helpful, beneficial, helpful. You know, if you liked it, Give me a like. Give me a subscribe. I'll see you in the morning.